and I was going to speak for more data, but I think that they just already presented lots of data about this project. First of all, you might ask why a journalist from Kosovo got interested in Baluchistan. I first met Baluch people in Germany in 2014, and then by trying to understand their issue, I saw it so much similarities to the Kosovo case. They mentioned 1.8 million people children who are out of the school, and Kosovo is 1.8 million people. So can you imagine that how you don't pay attention to a country which looks like a whole state is left out of the school. I paid attention a lot to the CPAC project because I'm always paying attention to these multinational projects. I am doing research recently about the Turk Stream, which is a project between Russia and Turkey, which I think if it is going as it is prepared, is gonna put the Europe on its knees by raising the price of gas. And also I'm paying lots of attention to East Med project with another project which is regarding to the distribution of gas. But going to the Baluchistan story, why it's so similar to Kosovo? I am just 33 years old, and I have lived the time when I lived under the occupation of Serbs, which was a regime, very brutal regime, led by Slobodan Milosevic. And at that time, I have understand one thing: why, when you are living under occupation of one other country, in fact, you are not living. You are just improvising life, and you are just trying to survive. So I lived that life. I faced 2 years of very brutal war. I have seen people dying in front of me, and so even my teacher was beheaded, and then we found later its body. And yeah, I even remember that scene, even it is happened today. So I paid attention to the problem of Baluchistan because the time when we were fighting against Serbs for our freedom, lots of people paid attention to us, and that's made us possible to make a state. So we are just 1.8 million people, and we managed to have a state. The strategy we used, I would suggest the Baluch people to use the same, and it's simple. First of all, you be unified, you get a voice. It doesn't mean to be just one person, as we were lucky to have just one person, Mr. Rugova, but it can be a body. And then we created the funds to finance our struggle, which was 3% fund call. Everybody from Kosovo Albanians who worked in the Western country had to pay 3% of his salary to our fund, and that fund was used for everything: organizing protests, convincing foreign media to write about us, lobbying about us, and so on. The other similarities is like Kosovo, after has been created and with the help of US mostly and NATO, it is now a key player of the stability of the Balkan. Balkan until 1999, when Kosovo was made free by bombing the Serbians, so Balkan was so unstable region. Kosovo now is the key of stabilizing the region. The other reason why the US helped us to create Kosovo state is to stop the Russian influence. So by creating the Kosovo, you put the control on Serbia, and then by stopping the Russian influence, they used Baluchistan. So I have checked for a long time the strategic place of Baluchistan. The other similarities to Kosovo is that Baluchistan is in the middle of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. So if the Western countries want to have a stable region, that region, which is still too much unstable, they have to help the Balochistan as they helped Kosovo to become an independent country. By making Balochistan an independent country, the benefits will be these. First of all, you stop China from benefiting brutally from the gold and the other incomes of Balochistan and the other national resources of Balochistan. So you stop a competitor of economy of the Western countries. The secondly, you stop the future terrorism, which is very important. Iran is very well known for being the most financing state of the terrorism. It's accepted all over the world, and especially now the US administration accepts this and stresses it. By putting the Balochistan in the middle as an independent state, you can control Iran's foundation to the terrorist groups, and as well its project of manufacturing the atomic bombs or the project for nuclear weapons. By creating the Balochistan state, you also put a strong control on Pakistan. Pakistan is very well known now with the help of Saudi money to become, as we know, because I used to write a lot on the terrorist issues, we know in this area Pakistan to be as a university of terrorism. So Pakistan, especially in Balochistan, they have misused the money from US and the money from the Saudi Arabia to build madrasas, which are facilitating and educating people to be future mujahideens. And by creating that independent Balochistan, you stop these projects, and more than that, you keep a control to the Pakistan as it remains. Hopefully it remains very small. So you put control on that and its program of nuclear weapons and nuclear capacities as well. And the third profit from that is also because now Afghanistan, with this deal from the latest deal with Taliban, so it's going to be still a big problem with rising Mujahideens movement, creating new Mujahideens. So by having an independent Balochistan, you can put control also in the flow of the future Mujahideens. So I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm just going to say that Balochistan state, it should be in the future, and that's for the people who will get to know this issue. We would definitely say that it should have been yesterday as an independent state, but it's not too late to make it in the future. Baloch people are going to pay attention to these two things. Make a voice for you, a body who represents you, create a fund to have to finance your struggle, and try to create so much friends in the Western democracies. Balochistan, independent Balochistan is profit for Western democracies.
Thank you.